Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on B106 and B106.com. This afternoon from Eddie Underwood, American Legion Field in Fort Morgan. It's a Colorado 7 League clash as the visiting Elizabeth Cardinals take on the Fort Morgan Mustangs. I'm John Beltran. They're meeting for the second time in less than 24 hours after the Mustangs got a two-hitter from David Mendez yesterday and an RBI triple from Nate Alexander in the first inning in a 1-0 victory as the Mustangs moved to 7-0 in Colorado 7 League play and 14-0 overall. Elizabeth now at 6-1 in league play, 10-4 on the season. So this game essentially is for the league title. When you look at the remaining schedule, Elizabeth and Fort Morgan really stand out amongst the other teams. And if the Mustangs can put together a victory today, they would have a 2-game lead on Elizabeth with 4 games to go. So that would seem to be insurmountable considering that the competition certainly goes down after today's game against the Cardinals. We're going to get to the starting lineup for the Elizabeth Cardinals here momentarily as Yuli Hernandez is taking his warm-ups. The right-hander for Fort Morgan, who in his last outing tossed a no-hitter in a 17-0 victory against the Vista Peak Bison. Doug Severinsen, the head coach of the Cardinals, will send out this lineup. Batting first is the center fielder Tyler Erzin. Cody Steinke, the shortstop, hits second. Left fielder Brody Oliver bats third. The DH is Jeff Stevens. Batting fifth is the first baseman David Wallstrom. The sixth hitter is Willie Weber. Batting seventh, the second baseman Brandon Severinsen. The catcher Brett Yates hits eighth. And Stuart Urich is the right fielder hitting ninth. For the Mustangs defensively, Jared Bohm is at first. Tony Zwedzig at second. The third baseman is Misial Franco. David Mendez at short. Around the outfield, Nate Alexander in left. Center fielder Sergio Baquerra. Jacob Frick in right. James Martins behind the plate. And Ulysses Hernandez on the mound. Opening pitch brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. They can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance, the Mustangs in their home blacks and the Elizabeth Cardinals in their road reds. Here's the wind and the pitch. And that fastball is a little bit high. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, just a little bit high. This infield is playing very slow. They worked on it a lot up and in with a heater. 2 balls and no strikes. To Ulysses Hernandez. Here's the 2-0 offering, and that is right there for a strike. Took something off it at the knees, and the count is at 2 balls and 1 strike. Hernandez 3-0 with a 2.51 ERA, 2-1 pitch, and the breaking ball is inside. 3-1. To Tyler Erzin, the Elizabeth center fielder, hitting from the right side. Wind in the 3-1. Swung on and grounded to third. Misial Franco has it on the third. Hop fires to first offline, but Bohm applies the tag. And there's 1 down. And that's why in the infield you have to play in as Franco did, because it's just not getting out there very quickly. 1 down for Cody Steinke, who made some nice plays at short yesterday. In fact, Elizabeth turned 3 double plays, 2 of them on the ground, 1 of them on a line drive. The pitch and the sidearm fastball is well outside. 1 ball, no strikes. To Cody Steinke. Here's the wind and the 1-0. And the breaking ball is just a little bit high. 2-0, so Hernandez falls behind to the second straight hitter. 2-0 to Steinke here in the top of the first inning. The pitch. Fastball is a strike on the outside corner. The count at 2-1. Yuli comes at you at different angles. Sidearm, little submarine. And the 2-1 offering way outside with a heater, and the count is at 3-1. Look to the team at Valley View for rehab, short-term, or long-term care needs. Stop by 815 Fremont or call them 867-8261. Valley View Villa. 3-1 pitch. And the breaking ball right. No, it's low. Wow, where did that miss? And it's a walk to Cody Steinke. Here's Brody Oliver. Well, that 3-1 pitch had missed in the strike zone. So Oliver steps in for the left side. Yeah, I have no idea. That was right down the middle at the knees, but it was called a ball. Mustangs at double play depth. And the pitch. And that's off the glove of Martins towards the screen. And Steinke to second. We'll call that a pass ball. It got him on the glove. It was a little bit wide of the target, but certainly I'm sure he felt he should have fielded that. The Mustangs have posted 3 consecutive shutouts, 2 over Vista Peak, and they beat Elizabeth yesterday 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes. Oliver awaits the pitch, and the breaking ball is grounded on the right side. Zwedzik to his left has got it. Throws to first for the out. Advancing to third is Steinke, and there's 2 down. And that'll send up the cleanup hitter, Jeff Stevens. The right fielder for Elizabeth hitting from the right side. Mendez yesterday in his 2-hitter threw 107 pitches. Here's the Winan offering. And the fastball is over the plate but low. 1 ball and no strikes. And Yulee has struggled with his control, even though he's got 2 outs, 9 balls and 4 strikes thus far. 1-0. And that is a strike. Thigh high in the outer half. It's 1-1. Yeah, we can't make these calls from up here too quickly. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 2 down. The pitch. And that is down and in. With a sidearm delivery, 2-1. The Mustangs looking to improve to 15-0 on the season. 2-1 pitch. And the breaking ball went behind the hitter. 3-1 with David Wallstrom on deck. He had a good game yesterday, even though he was the losing pitcher. He did get a base hit off of Mendez in his first at bat. 3-1 to Stevens with Oliver at third. Or check that, Steinke at third. The pitch went behind the hitter again on the fastball, and Stevens walks. Second walk issued in the inning by Ulises Hernandez. And here's the tall right-handed hitting David Wallstrom. Wallstrom today playing first for Elizabeth. Runners at the corners and 2 down. An open stance for the right-handed hitting Wallstrom. Stretch by Uli. The pitch. And that's right over the plate for a strike with a fastball just above the knees. No balls and 1 strike. You don't have to travel out of town to receive the best and most advanced hearing health care. Platte Valley Hearing Center, 409 East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. And the 0-1 runner going, swung on and popped up into foul territory on the first base side. And the first baseman, Bohm, is over. Now he goes back and he made the catch. Or no, he dropped the ball. The ball was dropped. It looked like Bohm made the catch. Instead, it's going to be a foul ball and strike 2. But that will be an error on the first baseman, Bohm. So the Mustangs have as many errors as they did yesterday. They committed 1 in the 9th inning, also, or 7th inning, also on the first baseman, which was Wes Anderson at that time. 0-2 to Wallstrom. And the offering runner going, and the breaking ball outside. The throw through to second is high, but backed up by Zwedzik. Nice job. A stolen base for Jeff Stevens. Now 2 in scoring position. A critical at bat now for Wallstrom, and a critical pitch coming up for Uli Hernandez. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boy, a routine pop-up was dropped. And the offering. Fastball outside corner, called strike 3. And the inning is over. No runs, no hits, a Mustang error, and 2 men left. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Elizabeth does not score. Fort Morgan is coming to bat right here on B106 and B106.com. Mustang starting lineup brought to you by Blodorn Lumber at blodornlumber.com. You can browse the virtual showroom, view the current sales flyer, complete a credit application, and shop the entire inventory online. Doesn't matter if you're a contractor or painting your kitchen. At Blodorn Lumber, you'll get the same friendly service and advice to make your job easier. Friendly place, serious service, Blodorn Lumber. For the Mustangs, batting first will be their shortstop, David Mendez. The pitcher, Uli Hernandez, hits second. Catcher, James Martins, bats third. In left field, Nate Alexander's the cleanup hitter. Wes Anderson, the DH, hits fifth. Jared Bowman first, hits sixth. Misial Franco, the third baseman, bats seventh. The right fielder, Jacob Frick, is in the eighth position. And Tony Zwedzik, the second baseman, will be batting ninth. For Elizabeth defensively, David Wallstrom's at first. Brandon Severinsen at second. Sean Herr is the third baseman. Willie Weber's the shortstop. Brody Oliver in left. Tyler Erzin in center. Stuart Urich is in right. He was yesterday's first baseman. The catcher is Brett Yates, and on the mound is their number 2 pitcher, the right-hander Cody Steinke. As Mendez steps in. Wind and pitch, and the breaking ball is over but low. 1 ball and no strikes to David Mendez. Hitting .341 going into yesterday's action. The offering, fastball outside corner for a strike, thigh high. And the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Mendez yesterday was 0 for 3. The pitch and the breaking ball swung on and missed. It is 0-2. No balls and check it. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Mustangs shortstop. The offering. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Gets away from the catcher Yates. He'll pick it up. Fired to first in time, and the strikeout is recorded. And there's 1 down in the bottom of the first inning. That'll bring up Yuli Hernandez. Yuli's had a tremendous season. Yesterday, 1 for 2. So he's closing in on the 500 mark. 18 of 38 on the season. He's driven in 15. Wind and offering. And that breaking ball is a strike on the outside corner at the knees. It's 0-1. Again, anything hit on the ground better be hit sharply. If not, it's not going to get out to the infielders. A very slow infield here in Fort Morgan. 0-1 pitch. Bounces it in there to Yates. And the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. In the bottom of the first inning, no score between the Mustangs and the Cardinals. The offering outside. Ball 2, strike 1. B&B Appliance at 502 Ensign in Fort Morgan can help you save water, energy, and the environment without sacrificing quality and performance. Change for the better with B&B Appliance. The pitch swung on and grounded right back to Steinke on 1 hop. The pitcher retires. The opposing pitcher, there's 2 down. That'll bring up James Martins. The Mustangs only had 4 hits yesterday against David Wallstrom, but Martins had 2 of them. And he scored the game's only run in the first inning when he delivered a 2-out triple. And the pitch from Steinke. Breaking ball is lifted to left field. Should be a routine play for Brody Oliver. Back a few steps shy of the track, and he reaches out, and it's up against the bottom of the fence. Martins to second. I'm not sure why he couldn't make that catch. The ball just hung up there. Oliver completely misjudged it. I mean, Martins hit it a long way, but that should have been out number 3. Instead, it's a straight-up double for James Martins. And that'll bring up Nate Alexander. Alexander stepping in. He delivered the RBI triple yesterday. And the pitch is over for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Nate Alexander. And the offering. That breaking ball's in there for a strike. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Nate Alexander. The stretch by Steinke. And the offering. Breaking ball is lifted to center field. Tyler Erzin is way back towards the track, and it's gone! A 2-run homer for Nate Alexander on a hanging curveball. And the Mustangs in the bottom of the first inning lead the Elizabeth Cardinals 2-0. Holy mahungus! That thing was ripped high and deep. That was a huge mistake pitch there by Steinke. Ahead in the count, 0-2. Not only did he throw a strike, he threw it right over the plate. And he hung that breaking ball. Here's Wes Anderson. So Nate Alexander with an RBI triple to win the game yesterday in the first inning. Now a 2-run homer against the very same team less than 24 hours later. Pitch to Anderson. And the fastball is on the outside corner for a strike just above the knees. It's 0-1. to the left-handed hitting junior DH. And the offering swung on in line towards the second baseman, off the second baseman into right field as Brandon Severinsen tried to play it on a wicked hop. And we will score that a base hit. That'll be a base hit for Wes Anderson. That thing was hit on a rope. So the Mustangs doing the same exact thing they did yesterday, generating a two-out rally with nobody on base. And it started with Martins, and there was an extra base hit from Martins yesterday and today, as well as by Alexander. Throw back to first, back in diving is Anderson. Jared Bohm hitting in the fifth position. Throw back to first. Safe, barely in there's Anderson. Check it in the sixth position, I should say. Bohm yesterday was 0 for 2. Still awaiting the first pitch to the junior. Swung on and grounded right back to the pitcher, Steinke. Throws to first and the inning is over. However, the Mustangs scored 2 runs on 2 hits, including a 2-run homer from Nate Alexander. No errors and 1 man left. 1 complete in Fort Morgan. It's the Mustangs 2, Elizabeth nothing on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back from Eddie Underwood, American Legion Field in Fort Morgan as we go to the second inning. And the Mustangs leading 2-0 on Nate Alexander's 2-run homer. And Ulysses Hernandez will face Willie Weber to begin the second. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat on the ground to the first baseman, Bohm. A very slow roller. Steps on the bag for the out. And there is 1 down. Yeah, that ball almost needed a calendar getting out there. But nonetheless, the out was recorded. And here's Brandon Severinsen, the second baseman. So now Uli, who pitched a 5-inning no-hitter against Vista Peak and held Elizabeth hitless in the first inning, working on a little string there. Severinsen from the left side, the wind and pitch, and that fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, it's amazing that Fort Morgan has pulled off the same thing 2 days in a row. A 2-out rally. The offering outside with a changeup. 2 balls and no strikes to Ulysses. Check that to Brandon Severinsen from Hernandez. And the 2-0 offering. The breaking ball is on the outside corner for a strike. Serving you the best coffees, lattes, and smoothies. Willow Coffee Tea and Smoothies, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to better serve you and ready to make your favorite specialty drink or offer a sweet treat. That curveball is lifted into shallow left center field. Long run for Baquerra, but he's under it, and he makes the two-handed grab. There's 2 down. And looks like Uli is in much better rhythm in this inning after struggling with a couple of walks in the first. Willow Coffee Tea and Smoothies, 921 Edison Street in Brush. Here's Brett Yates. Only 2 hits yesterday by Elizabeth. David Wallstrom and Stuart Urich off of Mendez. And the curveball is a little bit outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Yates. Martins lays down the sign, and Uli steps off. And the 1-0. Fastball right there for a strike on the outer half just above the knees. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. To Yates, the catcher, the offering. Sidearm deliveries up and away to Brett Yates. Ball 2, strike 1, 2 down, nobody on. We're the top half of the second inning. Fort Morgan on their home field, leading 2-0. The pitch in the dirt. 3-1 to the Elizabeth catcher. Martins lays down the sign, the offering. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Yeah, the Mustang pitching this year is, if it's not tops in 4A, it's got to be top 2 or 3. They have been lethal with the arms they've sent out there, all seniors for the most part. The pitch, and up and in, and that's the 3rd walk issued by Uli. The only danger here is that Yuli's going to run up that pitch count. 19 balls and 13 strikes, hardly on his A game, but he's done the job so far. And it'll be Stuart Urich stepping in. Do have a courtesy runner out there. That might be Jace Evans. Well, they got a number 2 out there. Let's see if that is Evans. Although at this point, if you retire the hitter, the courtesy runner doesn't matter. Throw back to first. Yeah, we'll call it Evans out there. Another throwback. Evans back in. Still awaiting the first pitch to Stuart Urich. Swung on and lifted into foul territory down the right field line, and it's going to drop foul, and it's 0-1 to Stuart Urich. Yeah, long run by both Bohm and Frick. Nobody was going to get there, considering that ball was twisting away from the first baseline. So no balls and 1 strike. Brush's local Napa and Hardware Hanks and Small Engine Repair Shop is Hometown Auto and Hardware. Stop by and let them help you at Hometown Auto and Hardware at 1305 Edison Street. No balls, 1 strike. 1 on, 2 down in the top of the second inning. Fort Morgan on a 2-run homer from Nate Alexander leads 2-0. The pitch, runner going. Swung on and missed. Martin's throw to second. The tag applied and late. Yeah, just too good of a jump.
Good throw.
So it's a stolen base for Evans. But no balls and 2 strikes. Got to watch out. Don't throw him anything good. I mean, Urich's got to have some ability. We got that base hit yesterday off a very effective pitcher in Mendez. And the 0-2. Fastball up and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Elizabeth right fielder. Martins lays down the sign. Uli on the left side of the rubber with a 1-2 pitch. Down and in with a heater. Count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Off of second is Evans. The stretch and the offering. And the curveball is just inside. Holy mahungus, you got to be kidding me. Wow. Boy, Josh Langford wondering where that missed, and so are all the Mustang fans. That looked like it nailed the inside corner. Instead, it's ball 3. And now it turns more into a hitter's count. It was 0-2. Now it's 3-2. The stretch by Hernandez and the offering. Curveball is lifted into left center field. A long run to his left. And under it, making the catch is Alexander for the out, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left at second base. An inning and a half complete. It's Fort Morgan 2, Elizabeth nothing. This is B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the bottom of the second inning where the Mustangs lead the Elizabeth Cardinals 2-0 against right-hander Cody Steinke. It'll be the bottom of the order. Isial Franco, Jacob Frick, and Tony Zwedzig. All right-handed hitters against the right-hander. Mustangs with a 2-0 lead. Wind and pitch. Fastball is grounded sharply to short. Weber's got it, drops it, picks it up, throws to first in time. And Franco is out number 1 in the bottom of the second inning. And that'll bring up Jacob Frick. Frick yesterday made a couple of key plays in right field. But like many of the other Mustangs, struggled a bit at the plate. 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Wind and pitch. In the dirt with a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes.
Get a good pitch, Jake.
Frick now at, let's see what the number is, 10 for 33 on the season, so hitting a shade over 300. The right fielder with an open stance awaits the 1-0 pitch from Steinke. Here it is. Fastball is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. To Jacob Frick. And the offering. Swung on and popped up into foul territory on the right side. The first baseman, Wallstrom, is over, has room, makes the one-handed grab. 2 down in the second. 2 down for Tony Zwedzig. Zwedzig on the season hitting .118, driven in 3. As the junior second baseman awaits the pitch from Cody Steinke, and the breaking ball is upstairs and outside. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch outside with a heater, 2-0. You don't have to close on your house alone. Northern Colorado Title at 130 West Kiowa in Fort Morgan will provide you with a stress-free closing. Northern Colorado Title, 2 balls and no strikes, 2 down and the base is empty. The pitch right over the plate for a strike with a fastball at the knees. It's 2-1. to Tony Zwedzig, the 9th place hitter in the Fort Morgan lineup. Hitting with that close stance, that means the front foot closer to the plate than the back foot. The offering swung on, fouled off to the right, and well out of play. It's 2-2. Yeah, so Fort Morgan pitchers are working on a huge streak. I think it's now about 20 innings since they allowed a run. 2-2. Breaking ball. Did he wave at it? They're going to check. No. Did not swing. 3-2. To Tony Zwedzig. Fort Morgan with a 2-0 lead on the 2-run homer from Nate Alexander. And the payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Count remains at 3-2. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East at 1209 Main Street in Fort Morgan will professionally fit you into the car or truck of your choice. Have that big outdoor tent sale at the Walmart parking lot right now. Ehrlich Toyota East. Swung on and chopped slowly on the ground to the shortstop Weber. He charges, he fields, he throws, he retires. Zwedzig, it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the second inning. We head to the third in Fort Morgan. The Mustangs lead the Elizabeth Cardinals 2-0 on B106 and B106.com. It'll be the top of the order for Elizabeth as we head to the third inning. Fort Morgan 2, Elizabeth nothing. Tyler Erzin takes the fastball up and in. He grounded Misial Franco to begin the game. Ulysses Hernandez with a 1-0. Swung on line to left field. That's a base hit for the Elizabeth center fielder. The first of the game for the Cardinals. And they have the leadoff man on in the third. That'll bring up the pitcher, Cody Steinke, who walked. For the best prices and special offers on top quality car parts and accessories, visit Central Auto Parts, 1001 West Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. Mustangs will play once again on Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday at home against Fort Lupton. I don't know if Steinke's squaring a bunt. He won't. The fastball's on the outside corner for a strike above the knees. That'll be a 4 o'clock start right here on B106 and B106.com. Then Friday on the road against Fort Lupton. Also at 4. Throw back to first. Back in diving is Erzin. Mustangs at double play depth. Solid infield in the middle there with Mendez and Zwedzig the pitch. And the breaking ball goes behind the hitter off the glove of Martins to the screen. And that will call a wild pitch. And they're going to say the ball hit the batter. I didn't see the ball hit the batter. Now home plate umpire is going to check with the field umpire. Looked like it went behind the hitter. I don't know how Doug Severinsen, the third base coach and the head coach, had any angle on that. They're going to say it hit him. Well, if the Mustangs aren't arguing, I guess it did hit him. Well, so it's not a wild pitch, a hit batsman. Here's Brody Oliver. So for the first time in 2 days here, Elizabeth has the first 2 on with nobody out. The pitch, swag, and a miss to it right by him. It's 0-1. Oliver grounded out to the second baseman, Zwedzig, in the opening frame. Fort Morgan with a 2-0 lead in the third, but Elizabeth is threatening. The pitch swung on and lifted to center field, going way back as Baquera still going back, and it's over his glove. Baquera's going to get it back in, though, quickly, and advancing one base are each of the runners, Erzin and Steinke. It's a long single. And again, that's a fly ball that Baquera misjudged, but he did a nice job of holding Oliver and the rest of the base runners to only one base. Second hit of the inning. The bases are loaded with nobody out for Jeff Stevens, who walked in the first inning. Mustangs will concede a run for the double play. Wind and pitch, and that breaking ball is well outside. 1-0. Yeah, we didn't anticipate this will be a 1-0 game, and it was 2-0 rather quickly. Elizabeth threatening to tie it, maybe take the lead with a big hit. Wind and offering. Swung on and popped up into shallow right field. Jacob Frick to his right, ranges under it, makes the catch. The runner tags. The throw's going to come all the way through, but sliding in safely is Erzin on the sac fly by Jeff Stevens. Advancing to third is Steinke. Holding up at first is Oliver. And the Fort Morgan lead is down to 2-1. That'll bring up David Wallstrom. Wallstrom in his first at bat struck out looking. Mustangs could use one of those right now or a double play, but Elizabeth likes to run. We saw that yesterday. They already have a stolen base in this game from Evans. Stretched by Hernandez. The pitch, and the breaking ball is a beauty for a strike on the outer half thigh high. And it's 0-1. Off of third is Steinke. Off of first is Oliver. That's the first run allowed by the Mustangs in about 20 innings. Fastball well outside. The count is level at 1-1 strike. Yeah, the last time they allowed a run in a game was against Skyview, I believe. Throw back to first, back in diving over there is Oliver. One ball, one strike, one out, one in. 2 on, 2-1 Fort Morgan in the top of the third inning. From Eddie Underwood, American Legion Field. The pitch, runner going. It's taken high. Martins will not throw. He'll throw to third. Back in diving over there is Steinke. Well, it's a stolen base for Oliver. And now with a base hit in the outfield, Elizabeth could take the lead for the first time in what's a mini 2-game series. Yulee will wind with the runners in scoring position. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball is up and away. 3-1. And Yulee's already walked 3. The 3-1 offering. And that ball hit him on the slow curve. That's the second hit batsman of the inning. And the bases are loaded for Willie Weber, who grounded to first. And here comes Josh Langford. Yeah, Yulee has thrown 51 pitches, and even though he's given up just 1 run, he's not been effective. 29 balls, 22 strikes, 2 hit batsmen, and 3 walks. But if he can induce a double play here from Weber, he would battle very similarly to the way that Elizabeth right-hander David Wallstrom did yesterday when he was able to induce 3 double plays hit by the Mustangs. The entire infield meeting on the mound, committed to serving those in production ag. Premier Farm Credit is the gold standard in ag lending. So this is a huge hitter in the game, even though we're only in the third inning. Bases loaded, 1 out, and the Mustangs with a 2-1 lead. And the shortstop, Willie Weber, who is 0 for 1, hitting from the left side. How about a little ground ball right back to Hernandez for a 1-2-3. Swung on and hit right back towards the pitcher to his left. He's going to come home for the force. No throw to first. So that goes 1-2 on the fielder's choice. There's 2 down. Unfortunately, that ball was not hit right at him. It was hit very slowly, but nonetheless, you get the man at the plate. And now the bases are reloaded. And the hitter's Brandon Severinsen, also from the left side. He's 0 for 1. He popped out the pitch, and that is down and in with a fastball. It's 1-0. This is the 7th hitter of the inning, but they've only got 1 run so far. Hopefully they'll keep it at that. The pitch swung on in line towards center field. Baquera's right there. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. The Mustangs got a tremendous scare in that top of the third inning, but they were able to survive. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and the bases were left loaded. We head to the bottom of the third inning in Fort Morgan. The Mustangs 2, the Elizabeth Cardinals 1. This is B106 and B106.com. Let's see if the Mustangs can get that run back as they lead Elizabeth 2-1 heading to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be the top of the order. David Mendez, followed by Ulysses Hernandez and James Martins against the right-hander Cody Steinke. Quite a contrast with these pitchers. Yulee's well over 50 pitches. Steinke's thrown just 26 over the first 2 innings, 18 of those for strikes. So the Mustangs got to go up there swinging, considering that Steinke is finding the strike zone. Unfortunately, found the strike zone for him too much. He threw an 0-2 breaking ball that Alexander destroyed over the center field fence. That's what gave Fort Morgan a 2-0 lead, which is now at 2-1. Mendez struck out on a breaking ball in the dirt in the opening frame. Wind by Steinke, the pitch, and that curveball is a little bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, with that pitch, it looks like it's a hitter's call, because that certainly could be called either way. The 1-0 down and away, 2-0. Well, Mendez being very disciplined up there to begin the third.
Come on, Dave. Find a way, Dave.
Wind and pitch. Fastball is a strike on the outside corner at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to the Mustangs shortstop. The wind by Steinke and the offering down and in fact, all the way to the screen. 3-1. To David Mendez.
Ask him to hit him.
3 balls and 1 strike. Wind by Steinke, the pitch, and that is up and away. Ball 4. Wow. I got to tell you, right now, the strike zone, in my opinion, favoring the hitters. There are some pitches that are on both sides that could have been called strikes, and neither one of them are getting the calls. Uli Hernandez grounded back to the mound in his first at-bat in the opening frame. Mendez with a throw back to first, diving back in. Fort Morgan trying to counter Elizabeth's run, which occurred in the top half of the third. The stretch by Steinke and the pitch low and away with a heater. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, if somebody's going to run, it's Mendez. He's got 9 stolen bases to lead the team. And you've got a hitter who makes contact. 1 ball, no strikes, 2-step lead. The pitch squaring to bunt, and he takes it for a strike. Throw back to first, and he's safe. He dove around the tag. Yeah, Mendez was leaning a little bit, but he had the presence of mind to get back in there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, nobody out. Bottom of the third inning. Fort Morgan 2, Elizabeth 1. And the offering up and away with a heater. 2 balls and 1 strike. Keeping community banking simple and committed to their community. Morgan Federal Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch. Swung on. That ball's grounded up the middle. Off the shortstop's glove into center field. Nice diving attempt by Willie Weber. Mendez around second. He's into third. And that's a base hit for Uli Hernandez. And the Mustangs have runners at the corners with nobody out in the third inning. And Mendez was going on that play.
Now we go, Jeans.
Now, yesterday with the Mustangs' luck, that might have been a double play, but today it's a base hit. Here's James Martins. Martins had 2 base hits yesterday, including a triple, and today he's got a double, and he scored on Nate Alexander's 2-run homer. The runners take their leads. The stretch. The pitch to Martins. Swung on and fouled off to the right on a tailing fastball.
Right on it, James.
And it's 0-1. Yeah, Fort Morgan in prime position right now to reclaim a multiple-run lead. At third is David Mendez. Ulises Hernandez at first. And the 0-1. Fastball just outside. Boy, very close.
Oh, boy.
1 ball and 1 strike.
Come on, James. Hit hard.
Martin's looking over at third base coach Josh Langford and maybe looking over towards the left fielder Oliver. He might be able to blow him. He hit that fly ball that almost went out. Swung on and lifted extremely high into foul territory. On the third base side, Sean Hare is over, and he makes the backhanded catch. Oh, he couldn't blow it by the third baseman, unfortunately, but there's 1 down. 1 down, but here's Nate Alexander. Yeah, Martins saw that ball hanging and got way under it. Nate Alexander's 2-run homer came on a hanging 0-2 curveball in the first inning. The senior left fielder with an open stance. The runners take their leads. The stretch by Steinke and the pitch. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, you got to score at least a run here to reclaim that momentum and take the field with a 2-run advantage. Big hole on the right side. The offering. Breaking ball is down and away. Stubbs Gas and Oil at I-76 and Highway 39 in Wiggins. Don't delay and get there to see why convenience is Stubbs' middle name, Stubbs Gas and Oil. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out, 2 on, 2-1 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the third inning. The pitch. Swung on and fouled back with Hernandez running on the play. It's 2-1. Oh, Nate's probably wanting that pitch back. It was right there. He got a good piece of it, but fouled it back. 2-1 to the senior left fielder. Runners take their leads. Laying down the sign is the catcher Yates. The stretch. And the offering, fastball way outside. Now a delayed steal. The throw through to second on a hop. They've got Hernandez in a rundown. Mendez will score. Now the first baseman, Wallstrom, running over towards the shortstop. And they're going to tag out Ulysses Hernandez. But on the back end, David Mendez is going to score. So Ulysses is out. Let's see. We'll go 2-4 to 3-6. And Mendez scores as he took off when that throw went through. The pitch. And the breaking ball is up and in. Now I got 3 balls and 1 strike. And that's the correct count. And the wind and offering. Swung on and lifted foul and out of play off to the right. Count is at 3-2. Yeah, so Uli did his job. I'm sure he would have liked to have stolen the base and had 2 on for Nate, but Mendez did score, and the Mustangs have reclaimed the 2-run advantage. And the payoff pitch to Alexander. Breaking ball is inside. And he walks. That'll bring up Wes Anderson, who had a base hit off the second baseman, Brandon Severinsen, in the first inning. Anderson is a 2-run homer this year and a 5-0 victory over Skyview. Steinke stretches. Steinke delivers. Swung on and grounded towards right field. Second baseman Severinsen dives. It's off his glove into right field for a base hit. Around second is Alexander heading to third. And the Mustangs, for the second time in the inning, have runners at the corners. This time there's 2 down. And Wes Anderson is now 2 for 2 in the game. Jared Bohm grounded back to the mound in his first plate appearance. He is 0 for 1. He can break this thing open in the third with Fort Morgan leading 3-1. Off of third is Alexander. Anderson at first. The stretch and a pitch. Swing and foul tipped off the catcher Yates. It's 0-1. And apparently Yates took it off the shoulder, so he's going to take his time before he gets back behind the plate. Mustangs have a run in the frame as David Mendez came home on the back end of an attempt to steal by Ulysses Hernandez. He was eventually picked off, caught in a rundown, but Mendez took off as soon as the ball went through to the second baseman Severinsen. No balls, 1 strike. 2 down, 2 on, 1 in. 3-1 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the third inning. Steinke throws back to first, back in diving is Anderson. If Fort Morgan wins this would essentially clinch the Colorado 7 League title. The stretch, throw back to first, back in diving again is Anderson. Well, maybe anticipating that he will take off. The stretch, and Steinke delivers. Fastball is on the outside corner above the knees for a strike. And the count is at 0-2. To Jared Bohm, the 6th place hitter, the first baseman today for the Mustangs. 2-step lead for Anderson. And the 0-2 swung on and fouled back. Count remains at 0-2. Fort Morgan grabbed a 2-0 lead on a 2-run homer from Nate Alexander. It got cut to 1 in the top of the third, back to 2 at 3-1. The stretch by Steinke and the offering. Well outside in the breaking ball. Alexander takes off. The throw's going to go through. And now taking off for home is going to be Alexander. He will score. As Anderson is tagged out, they fell for it again. Willie Weber applies the tag. Wow. They fell for it again, and the Mustangs scored 2 in the inning. We'll recap the inning after the break. We go to the fourth. Fort Morgan 4, Elizabeth 1 on B106 and B106.com. We head to the top of the fourth inning. John Beltran back with you in Fort Morgan. The Mustangs lead 4-1, and the pitch is up and in, and that hit Yates. That's the third hit batsman. Apparently took it off the elbow or the left arm. And he is on. For the Mustangs in that inning, they had 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. But Steinke is up to 49 pitches now for Elizabeth. Uli at 55, but boy, he's been all over the place, unfortunately for him. He's battling out there. The stretch and the pitch to Stuart Urich, first to throw to first. Back in diving is Yates. Uli picked up a key strikeout to end the first inning. The stretch, the offering, swung on and grounded to third. Franco backs up, fields it, long throw to first, is going to be in time to retire Urich, and Yates to second. Took a little bit of a tricky hop, but Misial Franco made the play. 1 down in the fourth inning for Tyler Erzin, who grounded out and singled. Erzin scored the lone run for Elizabeth 1 inning ago. 4 runs on 5 hits for Fort Morgan, 1 error. The pitch swung on line to left field. That is a base hit. Let's see if the runner's being sent home. Evans around third, and he's going to score on the RBI single from Tyler Erzin. And it's now 4-2. Erzin has his second hit of the game. And that'll bring up the pitcher, Cody Steinke. Yeah, he was able to hit that on the line. Third hit of the game for Elizabeth. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and lifted to center field. Sergio Baquerra to his left will make the catch. And there's 2 down. Well, Elizabeth has been very aggressive in this frame. Uli's barely thrown any pitches in this inning. He's already given up a run. He's retired 2. Here's Brody Oliver. He grounded out and singled. 1 for 2 in the game. With a man at first. The stretch and the offering, and the breaking ball hit Oliver.
Hey, Yuli, you're okay, man?
Well, that is hit batsman number 4, but none of those have been pitches that have been really those heaters up and in. A lot of curveballs that have been hitting the opposing hitters. That'll bring up Jeff Stevens, a walk and a sac fly. Fort Morgan scored 2 runs in the bottom of the third inning on stolen bases, the back end of those. And that ball, did it hit that? No, it went off of Martin's glove to the screen on the fastball, up and in underneath the elbows of Stevens. So the wild pitch gets Erzin to third and advances Oliver to second. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, you have to wonder mentally how much Uli has left in this game. 3 2/3 innings. He's got a 2-run lead. If he gets through this inning, he's the pitcher of record. But with the way he's throwing today, they cannot rely on him to go the distance unless the offense can pick things up even more. The tying run is at second base. 1 ball and no strikes to Jeff Stevens. And let's see if we have a change being indicated right now. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened there. Either way, we'll resume the game momentarily. Letter jackets, T-shirts, and more. Bijou T-Quest, 302 Main Street in Fort Morgan. For all of your sports apparel, Bijou T-Quest. 1 ball and no strikes to Jeff Stevens. We're in the top of the fourth inning. The Mustangs with a 4-2 lead against Elizabeth, but they got runners at second and third. The pitch swung on and lifted into foul territory down the left field line. A long run for Alexander. Now it's twisting into fair territory, and he makes the catch. Wow. That ball had lots of English on it. And Alexander is able to make the play, and the inning is over. For Elizabeth, they score a run They do it on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Mustangs are holding on to a 4-2 lead at home on B106 and B106.com. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Jared Bohm, Misial Franco, and Jacob Frick, as Bohm was the hitter when Anderson was caught between first and second, and Alexander scored to give Fort Morgan a 4-1 lead. Now it's 4-2 over the Elizabeth Cardinals, and Cody Steinke will throw his 50th pitch of this game, and the offering. And the breaking ball is a beauty right there for a strike on the outer half just above the knees. It's 0-1. Bowman, the game is 0 for 1 with a ground out. And the pitch over but low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Come on, Jared. Got it, Jared.
The junior first baseman awaits the 1-1 offering. Swing and a miss on a fastball. It's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Bohm waits the pitch. Fastball is outside. Count is at 2-2. The offering. Swing and foul tipped at the plate on a slow curve. 4 runs on 5 hits for Fort Morgan. 1 error. The Mustangs have stranded 1. Elizabeth. This is how much Yulee has battled. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. And Elizabeth has stranded 8 in the game already. And the pitch. A little bit low and away. With a heater, it's 3-2.
Get on base, kid.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Jared Bohm to begin the bottom of the 4th inning. And the offering swung on and fouled off and out of play off to the right. Fort Morgan trying to build on this 4-2 lead and separate themselves from Elizabeth when Fort Morgan's number 2 pitcher, Uli Hernandez, is not on his A game, but he's battled nicely. The pitch swung on and fouled back. Count remains at 3-2 to Bohm. And this will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat to the Mustang first baseman. Here it is. Swung on, fouled back again. It'll be another 3-2 pitch coming up from Cody Steinke to Jared Bohm. The right-hander for Elizabeth delivers. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Would have been ball 4. It was down and away, and Bohm strikes out, and there's 1 down. Here's Misial Franco, who grounded a short. Steinke hasn't recorded too many strikeouts. We're going to see if we can get a check on the strikeout total here as Franco steps in. Wind and pitch is taken for a strike, a fastball on the outside corner at the knees. Yeah, just the 2nd strikeout in the game for Steinke to go along with 2 walks. And the 0-1. The curveball is right there. Strike 2 at the knees on the outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And the base is empty in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fort Morgan 4, Elizabeth 2. The right-hander delivers. Curveball is grounded on the left side. The shortstop Weber to his right. Sets. Throws low, but in time to retire Franco. And 2 are down in the bottom of the 4th inning. That'll send up Jacob Frick, who is 0 for 1. Frick popped to the first baseman Wallstrom in his first at bat. Yeah, some solid baseball we saw yesterday. Not as clean today, but still a very entertaining game. And the pitch, fastball right there for a strike on the outer half thigh high, and it's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Frick, hitting with an open stance. Yates lays down the sign, and the pitch, fastball, same location, strike 2. Well, Steinke threw 10 pitches to the first hitter, Bohm. Now he's throwing just 5 to the last hitter plus. The plus is Frick. The pitch, Swung on and popped foul and out of play. Count stays at 0-2. Fort Morgan has 2 games left in the regular season here at home. But if they win today, they'll be at home in 3 weeks. The pitch, breaking ball is down and away. Yeah, it would be impossible to believe if Fort Morgan wins this game that they will not have a home game or home games. They'll be a host site for the 32-team district tournament, hosted by 8 schools. The pitch, swung on and chopped on the left side. The shortstop, Weber, dives to his right, no throw, and Frick is going to beat it out. And that base hit for Jacob Frick is Fort Morgan's 6th of the game. Tony Zwedzig grounded out to the shortstop, Weber, in his first plate appearance. As he bats now for the Mustangs. Stretch by Steinke. And the pitch. Fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Looking back at first is Steinke. Short lead for Frick. The pitch. Right there. A fastball at the knees. It's 1-1. Accidents or illness can strike at any time, day or night. When they do, every second counts. It's a level 3 trauma center. Colorado Plains Medical Center can handle any kind of emergency. Swung on and fouled off to the right and out of play. Colorado Plains Medical Center bringing quality care to the community. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 down with a man at first in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fort Morgan led 2-0 in the first inning on a 2-run homer from Nate Alexander. They still have a 2-run lead. Swedzig awaits the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and popped up extremely high in the middle of the infield. The second baseman Severinsen makes the grab. And the inning is history. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the 5th inning. Fort Morgan 4, Elizabeth 2 on B106 and B106.com. We head to the 5th inning as you can close the book on Ulysses Hernandez. 4 innings, 61 pitches. And Yulee did have his struggles today, allowing 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 3 walks, 4 hit batsmen. And he registered just 1 strikeout, but he is the pitcher of record. James Martin's now on the hill. Joey Schneider behind the plate, and Uli goes to second base. And stepping in is David Wallstrom. Wallstrom struck out looking and was hit by a pitch. So Martin's essentially now the number 3 pitcher. The number 2 in this game, of course. Wine and offering. Fastball is just a little bit high and away. Martin's on the season. Let's see if we can find those numbers. We'll check it out here momentarily. Wine to the 1-0. Fastball is upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Martin's at 1-0. Has not allowed a run in 4 appearances, but he's thrown only 7 innings. And the 2-0 pitch swung on and lifted down the left field line. A long run for Alexander. Now he ranges under it, and he's going to make the catch, and there's 1 down. 1 down in the 5th inning. Oh, and that was a 2-0 pitch that was popped up. 2-0 that Wallstrom couldn't do anything with. Here's Willie Weber, the left-handed hitting shortstop, who was 0 for 2. The offering, and the breaking ball is a beauty down the middle at the knees. Nice frame job there by Joey Schneider. It's 0-1. Martin's ready. And the 0-1 offering. Curveball is lifted deep into right center field. That's going to find a gap. Racing over to his left is Sergio Baquerra. Plays it off the bottom of the fence. It's a 1-out double for Willie Weber. And the tying run comes to the plate. And Brandon Severinsen, who is 0 for 2. He flew to left and hit a line drive to Baquerra in center. Now, sometimes when you throw the same pitch, 2 consecutive pitches, it makes it easier on the hitter. That's why the term mixing up pitches is often used at every level of baseball. Martins delivers. Swung on and foul tip to the plate. No balls and 1 strike to Severinsen. Fort Morgan with a 4-2 lead over Elizabeth here in the top of the 5th inning. This is essentially for the Colorado 7 league title. And the Mustangs still have to record 8 more outs. Schneider lays down the sign. And Martin's looking back. The 0-1. Curveball is right there for a strike. It's 0-2. All right, now you throw anything other than that unless it's in the dirt. This is where you have to be very careful. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. The stretch. Martins looks back, looks in, and pitches. Swung on and grounded up the middle. The second baseman, Uli Hernandez, to his right. Sidearms to first. There's 2 down as Weber moves over to third. That'll bring up Brett Yates. Yates was walked and was hit by a pitch. Oh, there's a huge hitter to retire for Fort Morgan right now. And James Martins working out of the stretch with a runner at third. And the pitch swung on and popped foul. Out of play off to the right. It is 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. With 2 down and a man at third. Martins back on the rubber. Accepts the sign. Schneider setting up on the outside corner. The 0-1. Fastball is very high, and the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Stop, shop, and save with all of your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. The Brush Grocery Cart, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. The 1-1 pitch to the Elizabeth catcher. And here it is. Swung on and popped up on the left side. The third baseman, Franco, in foul territory. Settles under it, makes the catch. The inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. 4.5 complete in Fort Morgan. It's the Mustangs 4, the Elizabeth Cardinals 2. You are listening to Mustang Baseball on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back at Eddie Underwood American Legion Field in Fort Morgan as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Mustangs are 6 outs away from moving to 15-0. They lead 4-2 over Elizabeth. It'll be the top of the order. David Mendez, followed by Ulises Hernandez and James Martins. Mendez has struck out and walked and scored a run. The Mustangs with 2 in the first, 2 in the third. Elizabeth with 1 run in the third and 1 in the fourth. Fort Morgan out hitting Elizabeth 6-4 in the game. The pitch, and the breaking ball is up and away. Cody Steinke, 46 strikes, 26 balls to this point. And the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and grounded left side. The shortstop, Weber, is in the hole. He sets. Long throw to first is going to be late. And Mendez beats it out. David Mendez with an infield hit. And that's the benefit of a little bit of a slower infield on the grass. But Mendez also with some tremendous speed. And he's got 10 stolen bases on the year, and he took off for home plate and scored one of those 2 runs in the 3rd inning. Now, do the Mustangs play small ball here? Because you've got the heart of the order coming up with Martins and Alexander. 1-step lead. The pitch. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Uli has grounded out to the pitcher, and a base hit on a hit and run in the 3rd inning. Steinke stretches. And the 1-0 runner going. Swung on, grounded to short. They're going to have to throw to first. Weber sets, throws to first to retire Hernandez. That's a good thing that Mendez was going. If not, it would have been an easy force at second. 1 down for James Martins. And Martins has been very good in this mini 2-game series. 2 hits yesterday. Doubled and popped out today, so he's 1 for 2. Mendez with a big lead over there at second. Pitch to Martins. Swung on and fisted towards right field. That's going to drop for a base hit, and the ball's going to die on the grass. Mendez can only advance 1 base. He cued it out there. Now 1st and 3rd. I mean, that ball stopped. And here comes Doug Severinsen. A visit to the hill. Nate Alexander will step in, and Alexander is 1 for 1 with a 2-run homer in the 1st inning. Let's see if Steinke is going to remain on the mound. Let's see what the story is here as they pay a visit to the Hill. 1st and 3rd and 1 out. With the Mustangs up 4-2. Well, it looks like Steinke's going to stay in there. So no change to be made. Buildings by Design and Brush takes pride in their workmanship and quality of their relationships with clients. For a free bid, call Pat Walter, 842-5837. Building today's business. Buildings by Design. Well, I would be shocked if Uli takes off for second and Elizabeth actually throws the ball through, considering that the Mustangs have scored 2 runs on stolen bases on the back end. That would be moronic for Elizabeth to attempt that because they did it twice in 1 inning, and it cost them 2 runs. The stretch and the pitch, and the fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, the Cardinals have got to be very smart in this situation. I mean, to give up the 1 run that they did in the 3rd is fine, but the 2 is inexcusable. Runners take their leads with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. The pitch swung on and Q down the right field line. That could be trouble, and that ball is going to go foul, just foul as Stuart Urich gave chase. 1-1. Mustangs and 4 Lupton Blue Devils coming up on Wednesday right here in Fort Morgan at 4 o'clock on B106 and B106.com. Right now it's a 4-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. At 3rd is Mendez. He singled to start the inning. James Martin's at 1st. The stretch and the offering and the curveball as the runner goes, and it's thrown right into the mound. Stolen base, and Willie Weber picks it up on a hop. The count should be 1-2, and it is. Well, a big one here for Alexander. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out with 2 in scoring position. The stretch and the pitch to Alexander. Curveball is taken low and away. Boy, taking that pitch was the definition of discipline. He could have easily waved at that. It was just off the zone. But with the way Nate has hit in this mini 2-game series, he's in a good zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out, a 2-run lead. The pitch swung on, lifted towards center field. Coming in is Erzin, still coming. He dives and he makes the catch. Tagging up is going to be Mendez. He will score. Martins to 3rd. The slide, and he's in there. It's a sacrifice fly for Tyler Erzin. Or check that. Sac fly for Nate Alexander, his 3rd ribby of the game. Now they're going to throw it back to 2nd, but Mendez clearly tagged up. It's 5-2 Fort Morgan. Yeah, he clearly tagged up. Yeah, I don't see what the debate is, to be honest with you. Erzin made a great catch out there, but Mendez tagged up. And so did Martins. Now Doug Severinsen out to talk. Well, that's it. Oh, are they going to say he didn't make the catch? Oh, all right, my bad. Apparently he didn't make the catch. I thought he made the catch out there. Wow. They're going to give Alexander a base hit? Wow, well, I'm sorry. I mean, we're partial to the Mustangs, but that's a terrible call. He clearly made that catch. I'm sorry. Any way you slice it, that ball was caught out there, but the Mustangs will take a 5-2 lead. I don't see how that ball. So give Alexander his 2nd hit of the game, throw back to first, back in diving. Even Erzin is motioning that he caught it, but, of course, the umpire's closer. Here's Anderson, who's 2 for 2, the stretch and the offering. Fastball is up and away. All right, so no, a delayed steal is 2nd to throw to slide. Alexander's in there on the delayed steal.
There we go, Wes. There we go.
Well, 1 ball, no strikes.
Come on, kid.
Alexander at 2nd. And at 3rd is swung on and driven into right center field. That ball is way back. It is a home run for Wes Anderson, a 3-run shot. His 2nd round tripper of the year. Martins crosses home plate, as does Alexander. And here comes Anderson. And the Mustangs have scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning. They lead Elizabeth 8-2. Holy mahungus. And that ball was drilled by Anderson. As we said before, I think a couple of sportscasts ago or a couple of games ago that Anderson's got that power to right field, and now it's a 6-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Fort Morgan's done virtually everything in this inning. They did catch a break, it looked like to me, on that fly ball that was hit by Alexander. We will have a pitching change, and we'll take it with them with a score. Fort Morgan 8, Elizabeth 2 in the bottom of the 5th inning in Fort Morgan on B106 and B106.com. Sean Herr is the new pitcher for Elizabeth after Cody Steinke allowed a 3-run homer to Wes Alexander. And the Mustangs now lead 8-2, 1 out. The base is empty here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Let's see if Steinke goes over to short and Weber to third. I think that's what's going to happen to complete the defensive switches here for Elizabeth. So that will be the case. The one concern with the Mustangs is hitting the baseball. What they've accomplished that today. The pitch. Fastball is upstairs to Jared Bohm. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, a lot of breathing room now for James Martins. He'll have a 6-run lead at least when he takes the hill. The pitch. Fastball is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Bohm is grounded out. Grounded back to the mound and struck out swinging. We'll give you the line on Steinke coming up momentarily. 2 balls, no strikes to the Mustang first baseman. The stretch and the offering. And the changeup is a strike on the outer half thigh high. It's 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. The base is empty in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan leads Elizabeth 8-2. The pitch swung on and fouled back. Count now sitting at 2-2 to Jared Bohm. The stretch by Sean Herr. And the pitch. And that went all the way to the screen behind the hitter. He slowed down the arm angle. Looked like he tried to throw him a changeup, but nothing doing there. 3-2 to Jared Bohm. Well, the Mustangs might have thoughts of ending this game in 5 or 6 innings, considering that they've got a 6-run lead. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled right off the umpire. Count remains at 3-2 to Jared Bohm. Yeah, that looked like Yates, the catcher, also took a shot off that one, giving him time to recover. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Fort Morgan with a commanding 8-2 lead on Elizabeth, as they have scored 4 runs in this frame. Yates lays down the sign, the stretch, and the offering. Swung on and popped up and out of play off to the left. And the count remains at 3-2 to Jared Bohm. Boy, Bohm has been up there for a long time in his last 2 plate appearances. He saw 10 pitches in his last plate appearance, and this will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Another 3-2 coming up out of the stretch with the bases empty as Sean Herr, now he recomposes himself, will reset. He looks in for the sign, the stretch, and the offering, and that ball hit him on the left leg. First time a Mustang's been hit by a pitch. It'll bring up Misial Franco. He's grounded out twice. Well, again, if Fort Morgan can extend this rally, they might be able to win it in 5 innings. They still would have to put a couple more on base and then leave it up to more than likely the top of the order. Laying down the sign is Yates, the stretch and the pitch. Fastball is very high. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, when pitching gets thin now, it challenges you as a head coach in terms of making decisions. You don't want to use up even more arms in a 6-run game. 1-0 Swung on, grounded left side. The shortstop Steinke to his right. Long throw to first, and that's going to be in time to get Franco. Excellent play by Steinke. Advancing to second is Bohm. Jacob Frick has popped out and singled. He's 1 for 2 in the game. And he will step inside the batter's box for Fort Morgan. Bohm leads off of second. Boy, Frick looks like he wants to crank one right now. The pitch. Swung on, lined up the middle, headed for center field for a base hit. Rounding third and scoring is Jared Bohm. It's an RBI single for Jacob Frick. Fort Morgan 9, Elizabeth 2. The Mustangs have scored 5 runs here in the 5th inning. And they've come up with a bevy of base hits as well. And Joey Schneider will be the hitter for Fort Morgan. Schneider's had limited number of plate appearances this year. Well, in fact, according to what I have, 1 plate appearance and no at-bats. Fastball's outside. 1 ball. Oh, they called it a strike. Well, according to the board, it's called a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Frick at first, the stretch. And the offering. That is right there. With a changeup at the knees, it's 0-2.
Now you go, Joe. Now you go.
No balls, 2 strikes. To Joey Schneider.
Hit it hard, Joey.
The stretch and the offer. Swung on and fouled off to the right and out of play. Count remains at 0-2 to Joey Schneider. Yeah, got a couple of good-looking sophomores on this team, Schneider and Austin Cosman. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. A man at first. 5 runs in for the Mustangs in the bottom of the 5th inning. The stretch and the offering. And that is a called strike 3 on the outside corner. And the inning is over. However, Fort Morgan breaks it wide open. The Mustangs score 5 runs on 5 hits. One of those was a 3-run homer from Wes Anderson. No errors and a man left. Let's head to the top of the 6th inning. Fort Morgan 9, Elizabeth 2 on B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the top of the 6th inning where the Mustangs hold the lead here over the Elizabeth Cardinals 9-2. 5 runs for Fort Morgan in that 5th inning. 5 runs and on 5 hits. They now have 9 runs on 11 hits, 1 error, 3 left on base. Elizabeth 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors. They have stranded 9. Stuart Urich, who is 0 for 2, a pop out and a ground out, will step in against James Martins. Wind and pitch, and the fastball is inside. Keep in mind that Martins, if he finishes off 3 innings here, that would be good enough for a save. The 1-0 for the Mustang right-hander is over the plate, but low. 2-0. 2 home runs hit by Fort Morgan, one by Alexander, the other by Anderson. 2-0 pitch. And that's right there, but low again. 3-0. Well, all you want to do is throw strikes at this point and allow the defense to play for you. 3-0. That's right there for a strike on the outer half of the knees. For a second, I thought he wasn't going to call it a strike. Don't let finances stand in your way of pursuing your college education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu. Swag and a miss on a fastball is 3-2. Or stop by the campus for a personal advising session that will get you on the right track and find out what options are available to help you. No matter what age you are at MCC, you can imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goal. Morgan Community College. Swing and a miss on a heater. Martins comes back from a 3-0 count and strikes out Stuart Urich. And there's 1 down. Tyler Erzin steps in. Erzin's been the best player today for Elizabeth offensively. 2 for 3. Scored a run. He's got an RBI as well. Wind and pitch. And the breaking ball is a strike. That's a beauty. Right down the middle, it's 0-1. Martins looks for the sign, kicks and fires with the 0-1. Swung on and grounded down the third baseline behind the bag. Long throw for Franco. He double clutched, and it'll be a base hit off of Bohm's glove, backed up by Schneider. Yeah, we'll call that a base hit on the slow roller down the third baseline. 1 on, 1 out. That'll bring up Cody Steinke, who's walked, been hit by a pitch and popped out. Yeah, Franco didn't double clutch. There was a shot there. Steinke officially 0 for 1. Martin stretches. And the pitch swung on and popped foul off to the right and out of play. 0-1. How about a little double play? The Mustangs haven't really had opportunities to turn a double play. This would be a great time right now with Mendez and Hernandez right in the middle. The stretch. Throw back to first. Back in diving is Erzin. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Fort Morgan 9, Elizabeth 2 in the top of the 6th inning. Martin stretches. Martins delivers. Swung on and popped up into shallow right field. Second baseman Hernandez is out. Is he going to make the catch? He will, as he trips over the right fielder Frigg. Both are okay. 2 down. Well, nice play by Uli. You don't give up on that ball, and he certainly did not. He was not assuming anything. Yeah, Frigg gets up slowly. Looks like he'll be okay. Here's Brody Oliver, who's grounded out, singled and been hit by a pitch. The left-handed hitting left fielder is officially 1 for 2. Martin's back on the rubber. Schneider looks to the dugout for the sign, receives it. And Martins delivers, and the breaking ball is in the dirt, blocked by the sophomore catcher. 1 ball and no strikes. Throw back to first, back in diving is Erzin. Yeah, you wouldn't think with a 7-run deficit he's going anywhere, but he is very fast. 1 ball, no strikes. Martins looks in. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is outside. 2-0. To Brody Oliver. The Mustangs up by 7 in the top of the 6th inning. Schneider lays down the sign. And the 2-0 pitch coming home. The curveball on the outside corner for a strike. It is 2-1. To Brody Oliver. Martins with a runner at first and 2 down. And a 2-1 pitch. Fastball is inside. 3-1 with Jeff Stevens, the cleanup hitter, on deck. Or check that. No, that's not Stevens. That'll be Sean Hare. Throw back to first, back in diving is Erzin. Yep, throw him a strike, get the ball to be hit in the air, and get out of this 6th inning. 3-1 by James Martins. Swung on. That ball is lifted into left field. Nate Alexander to his right. Ranges under it, makes the catch. The inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. 5.5 complete in Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan 9, Elizabeth 2 on B106 and B106.com. Well, the Mustangs can do one of 2 things here. They can either score 3 runs and end this game in 6 innings, or they can take the field for the 7th as they hold a 9-2 lead over Elizabeth and take care of it on the mound and on the field. For Fort Morgan, it'll be the top of the order: David Mendez, Ulysses Hernandez, and James Martins. Mendez has had a very productive game today. He's 1 for 2 after striking out. He walked and singled. Mendez has also scored twice. Nate Alexander has 3 RBIs on a 2-run homer and a bloop single. And Wes Anderson with a 3-run homer. So here's Mendez against right-hander Sean Herr, who came into the game in relief of Cody Steinke in the 5th inning when the Mustangs exploded for those 5 runs. So Mendez steps in here to begin the bottom of the 6th. And Herr out of the stretch with the bases empty. And the offering. Low and away with a fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, this would be the first undefeated season ever for the Mustangs, assuming they close it out against Fort Lupton and Englewood, which they should. The breaking ball's in the dirt. 2-0 to David Mendez. The stretch by her, and the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, tapped foul up the third base side. And the count is at 2-1. 9 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, 3 left on base for Fort Morgan. Elizabeth has blown numerous opportunities. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 10 left on base. The 2-1 to Mendez, way outside with a fastball. It's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. To Mendez, the stretch. And the offering. Swung on in line towards left field off the end of the bat for a base hit, and Mendez is now 2 for 4 in the game. He was out in front of that changeup, but he got just enough of it. And that'll bring up Ulysses Hernandez, who is 1 for 3. He's grounded out twice and singled. His last at bat, Mendez was taking off on the pitch, and he grounded it right to the shortstop. Well, let's see if Fort Morgan's still going to run here. Mendez did steal home. They do have a 7-run lead. They could just rely on the aluminum here with the bats that are coming up. The pitch. Swag and a miss out in front of the changeup. It's 0-1. I think Uli was trying to hit his first homer of the year. No balls and 1 strike to the Mustangs second baseman, who is the pitcher of record. The pitch. Fastball is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, if Uli reaches and either Martins or Alexander can kiss one, then we're out of here in 6 innings. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on. Her stretches. Her delivers. The runner going is way outside. No throw. And a stolen base for Mendez. Now it's 2-1. 2-1 to Ulysses. With an open stance from the right side. Sean Herr looks in. The pitch. Swung on and lifted to left field. Brody Oliver is back. He's going to have room. He will make the catch. Mendez will tag. The throw's going to come to the shortstop. Steinke throwed now to third, and that's going to be late. So Hernandez with a fly ball does advance. Mendez to third. That'll bring up James Martins. Martins has doubled, popped out, and singled. He began that 2-out rally as he did yesterday in the first inning. Martins has scored a couple of runs as well. Sean Herr with 1 out and a man at third. Stretches. And the pitch. Over but low. 1 ball and no strikes. We'll have a brief post-game show coming up after this one. The Mustangs looking to improve to 8-0 in league play, 15-0 overall. Mendez was short lead at third, and the 1-0 swung on, fouled off to the right and out of play. And the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike to James Martins. Looking in is Herr. 1-1. Boy, that's right there for a strike. With a changeup on the outer half, it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. 9-2 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the 6th inning over Elizabeth. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right on that looper thrown towards Martins. I don't know how else you describe it. Looked like he slowed down the arm motion and everything. Martins awaiting the 1-2 from Sean Herr. Here it is. Swung on. That ball is popped up on the right side. The first baseman, Wallstrom, is in foul territory, has room, makes the catch. And there's 2 down. Two down for Nate Alexander. Alexander with a home run, a walk, and a single. 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs. You've got power at the plate and power on deck. Both have hit home runs today. The stretch by her and the pitch. Swung on, fouled off to the right. That's out of play. It's 0-1. It was a 4-2 game going into the bottom of the 5th inning when Fort Morgan tallied 5 runs. And they are well on their way right now. No balls and 1 strike to Alexander. Stepping out as Alexander, stepping off is the pitcher, her. Now they're settled back in. Off of third is Mendez. And the 0-1. Down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. The stretch by her. 1-1 pitch. Fastball is up and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fort Morgan has had the lead since the opening inning when Alexander drilled a 2-run homer over the center field fence. 2-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled on the changeup off the end of the bat. Count goes to 2-2 to the Mustang left fielder. Yates lays down the sign. The stretch. And the 2-2 pitch. And he bounces it in there. 3-2. To Alexander. And let's see what Her does on the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled to the screen. Remains at 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes. And the stretch. And the pitch. Up and away on the changeup. Alexander walks. Second walk issued to him. And Wes Anderson can end this thing with another 3-run homer. River Barton will be the courtesy runner at first for Nate Alexander. There's another visit to the hill, and we have a no, not a pitching change, just a visit there by Doug Severinsen. Well, let's see what Anderson can do here. First and third, 2 down. 1 inning ago, he made it a 6-run game with a 3-run homer. The Mustangs in the game have 12 hits. 3 of those by this DH. And if Anderson waits on that changeup, he can hit it a long way. The stretch by Her, step off. Well, at this point, I think you just let Anderson hit away. You've got a 7-run lead. And you don't have to worry about running the bases if he can hit it over the fence again. The stretch and the offering. And the changeup is low and away. 1 ball and no strikes to Wes Anderson. Sean Her gets the sign. And the 1-0 offering. And he swings and grounds it to first, a big hop for Wallstrom, and that's the end of the inning. He was going to throw to second, but you don't need to when there's already 2 down. All right, the Mustangs get a base hit in the inning. They leave 2. We go to the 7th. It's Fort Morgan 9, Elizabeth 2 on B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back at Eddie Underwood American Legion Field. Let's head to the 7th inning. James Martins will pitch to the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Jeff Stevens, David Wallstrom, and Willie Weber. Fort Morgan leads Elizabeth 9-2. The pitch. The fastball is right there for a strike, thigh high. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Stevens is 0 for 1. Walk, a sac fly, and a pop out. Sac fly, that is. Curveball is up and in. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. The wind and the 1-1 delivery to Stevens. Fastball is just a little bit low. 2-1. Martin's ready, and the 2-1 offering. Swung on in line towards right center field. That's going to hit a gap. A long run for Baquerra. The ball rolls all the way towards the fence. Around first to Stevens. He's into second with a leadoff double. And that's the way this 7th inning begins. Here's David Wahlstrom. Struck out looking, hit by a pitch, and popped out. He's 0 for 2. Yeah, if you're Martins, forget about even holding that runner too tightly. You've got a 7-run lead. 3 outs, and you wrap this thing up. The stretch. And Martins looks home. The pitch. Swung on, line towards right field. That is a base hit. Frick comes on to third, and holding up at third over there is Jeff Stevens as Wahlstrom comes through. That'll send up the 6th place hitter, Willie Weber, who's grounded out, hit into a fielder's choice and doubled. He's 1 for 3. Well, again, the Mustangs at this point just concentrate on getting the outs here. Again, Weber at 1 for 3. Did double in his last at bat. Schneider gets the sign from the dugout. Still looking in the stretch. And the offering. That is a strike on the outside corner. Took something off of that one. It's 0-1. Yep. You don't get saved by time in this sport. You got to get all 21 outs. Martin stretches. The 0-1 pitch to Willie Weber will not be made. He'll throw back to first. And again, still looking for that Mustang double play. If they can get an opportunity to turn it. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. First and third. Nobody out in the top of the 7th inning. Fort Morgan 9, Elizabeth 2. Martins looks in for the sign. He stretches. And the offering. Swung on and chopped on the right side. The first baseman, Bohm, is going to throw to second in time for the out. Scoring is Stevens on that fielder's choice. And there's 1 down. 9-3 is now the score. And now the batter for Elizabeth will be Brandon Severinson. The pitch. And the breaking ball is taken for a strike. Yeah, that's actually a new hitter out there. Let's see. In for Severinson. Looks like that will be Evans, Jace Evans. 0-1. The stretch. And the offering. Fastball is right there. Down the middle for a strike. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 out. 9-3 here in the top of the 7th inning with a man at first and Willie Weber. The stretch. And the offering. Way outside. 1-2. Martins again looking for the final 2 outs of this game. Throw back to first. Back in diving is Weber. One ball, 2 strikes. The stretch. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is outside. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of having a catcher set up beyond the corner. You're never going to get that call. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Might as well set up over the plate and see what you can get here. The pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded left side. Third baseman Franco charges, clutches, throws to first in time. Evans is out. The runner advances to second. And Willie Weber, 2 down for Brett Yates, who was 0 for 1. He's walked, been hit by a pitch, and popped out. The Mustang post-game show coming up after the final out. The Offering. Fastball is well outside. 1 ball, no strikes. To Brett Yates. The stretch by Martins. The look back. And the step off. Fort Morgan won a thrilling 1-0 game yesterday, about to put them away by a handy margin today. 1-0. And Yates awaits the pitch. He swings and hits that ball deep into left field, going way back to the track is Barton. It's off the bottom of the fence. Rounding third is Weber. He will score. And into second with a 2-out RBI double is Brett Yates. It's now a 9-4 game. Well, these runs hopefully will turn out meaningless considering the Mustangs have a huge advantage. Now we have another pinch hitter. That'll be Chase Nicholas hitting for the first time in the game. The stretch. The look back. The Offering. Swung on, lifted to center field, going way back as Baquerra. Still going back. He's got room and he makes the catch. And the Fort Morgan Mustangs have won the game over the Elizabeth Cardinals by a score of 9-4. 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits for Elizabeth. Mustang postgame show brought to you by High Plains Bank in Wiggins. The friendly staff at High Plains Bank in Wiggins can assist you with a home loan, equity line of credit, commercial loan, or checking account. To receive hometown service and a higher plane, visit High Plains Bank today. 9 runs on 12 hits, 1 error, 5 left on base for Fort Morgan, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors, 11 left on base for Elizabeth. The winning pitcher was Ulysses Hernandez. The loss went to Cody Steinke. The save with 3 effective innings to James Martin's. Time of the game, 1 hour and 53 minutes. Mustangs took a 2-0 lead on Nate Alexander's 2-run homer in the first, made it 4-1 with 2 stolen bases of home in the third. It was 4-2 going into the bottom of the 5th inning when Alexander came up with a bloop single. Wes Anderson with a 3-run homer as he had 3 hits in the game. That made it 8-2. The Mustangs tacked on another run, and then Elizabeth scored 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning. 9-4 the final score. Elizabeth drops to 10-5 on the year, 6-2 in Colorado 7 play, and the Mustangs are now 8-0 in league play, 15-0 overall. They'll be back in action coming up on Wednesday at 4 o'clock right here in Fort Morgan against the Fort Lupton Blue Devils right here on B106 and B106.com. Sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustang baseball. He'll be enjoying the prom tonight along with a bunch of his classmates and other Fort Morganites is Trenton Klimper. I'm John Beltran. The final score from Eddie Underwood, American Legion Field. Fort Morgan 9, Elizabeth 4, all on B106 and B106.com.